All right, the Knicks beat the Memphis Grizzlies 133-120 at the Garden. Everybody, welcome to Knicks Latest, your go-to YouTube channel for everything New York Knicks latest scores, updates, rumors, all that good stuff. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Let's get right into it. The Knicks, again, like I said, beat the Grizzlies. Mitchell Robinson out. Not a problem. This offense still looks fantastic, and this is with OG Anunoby shooting 1 for 10 from three-point range. One of our better, if not the best three-point shooter the Knicks have had this year, having an off night, but the Knicks still putting up 55 threes and shooting 40% from downtown. This offense is absolutely cooking. The vision is being seen. Now, I did say to start the season, it would be unfair to judge this team after 2 or 3 games. You got to wait 10 games, maybe 15 games. Well, you know what? It's been 10 games, and I'm confidently saying that this Knicks offense is an absolute problem. The way they push the pace, the way they run the basketball, the way they get into the lane and look for each other. This team seems to be clicking on all cylinders when it comes to the offensive end, and everybody seems to be comfortable, including Mikal Bridges, who again has a really good night, not just shooting the basketball, but playmaking as well, but running the break. Mike Brown has done wonders for this offense, and it's no disrespect to Tom Thibodeau, but this seems to be a new era, like a new modernized basketball team, as opposed to last year, where if you look at how we ran the offenses in the half court, or even just throughout the game, it seems like now that was like living in the Stone Age. It finally feels like the Knicks have caught up with the rest of the league. They're shooting threes. They're playing with a quicker pace, and it's starting to be very consistent now. It's starting to be very noticeable. It is a part of their identity, and everybody looks comfortable. I mean, you had Mitch out, so you needed a starter, and you plug Landry Shamet in there. And even though he was a minus in the plus-minus, I thought he fit very well with the team. You know, he hit a couple threes in their first quarter. He ended up with 10 points. 3 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3. Now, he did foul a lot, but the offense did not stop humming. He fit in beautifully. I think the reason why, and this is a point of contention with a lot of Knicks fans, feeling that Mike Brown values Shamet over Deuce, which I don't know it's true. I think he just values Deuce off the bench and Deuce in that role and likes Deuce in the second unit. He doesn't want to mess with that second unit. Feels very comfortable plugging in somebody else in the starting unit because he feels that, I don't know, maybe that bench unit is just too important to compromise. That's the way I take it. I don't think anybody looks at Landry Shamet and looks at Deuce and thinks, okay, I think Landry's more valuable here. I just think that it's more of a, I like Deuce's role here. So I really would not worry about it if I'm a Knicks fan. I don't think that when it comes to playoff time, Deuce McBride's going to be getting major minutes over Landry Shamet, whether or not Landry's coming in before him, to start the season. Sometimes that's just rotation. Sometimes it's matchups. Who knows? Deuce McBride is a huge part of this rotation. He's a huge part of this team. He had 3 threes tonight, looking great, after coming off a little bit of a slow start after missing a few games for personal reasons. Deuce seems to be back. The offense seems to be flowing. Everybody seems to know their roles, and to me, that's the most important thing. Karl-Anthony Towns seems to be getting comfortable as well. Hitting threes, being aggressive, taking to the hoop, being patient with the offense. This is something that kind of concerned me, when he made his comment saying he didn't know where he fits into, the offensive system during that press conference. And some people took it as, he's not happy. I don't know if he wasn't happy at the time, but I do think there might have been some sort of confusion with Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't think there's confusion anymore. I think he's not even close to hitting his ceiling with this offense. Obviously the Knicks want to take a lot of threes, and I think he's a big part of that. He went 3 for 8 from three-point range. Today, he shot more threes, which is fantastic. There have been games in the past this season where he didn't really look for his three-point shot. I'm hoping that he looks for it more. I do think we can get a balance of Cat where he's taking it to the hole and playing strong, but also popping out and shooting three-pointer, which I do think we will get for the rest of the season. I do think it should be the norm that Karl-Anthony Towns takes 8 3-pointers, 6 to 8 3-pointers in a game. That's something I do want to see from him. So I'm happy he got those shots up. Josh Hart still being Josh Hart. 8 and 8, didn't score the basketball too much, but did have 8 assists, doing Josh Hart things, dropping dimes, making plays. I mean, there are times where he makes a pass where it's just kind of like, where did that come from? But it's in a fantastic way, right? Dropping dimes, man. And this is exactly the Josh Hart we wanted to expect. Now, of course, that injury concern, with his finger, his back, all that, that's going to be there. But he's been playing fantastic after semi-slow start to start the season. His first few games were a little rough, but he's settled in. He's looking like the super sub that we traded for a couple years ago. Comfortable in his role, happy in his role, coming off the bench. He played 30 minutes, but that's not going to be the norm with Mike Brown. We know that. It's not the Thibodeau days anymore where Josh is playing 38 minutes a game. We're going to see Josh regulated to about 25, 30 minutes a game, especially on the first night of a back-to-back. And shout out to Jordan Clarkson as well. He's somebody who came in and he gave some punch off of the bench offensively. That's exactly what you need from him. He had 2 big back-to-back buckets to kind of stretch the lead there when the Memphis Grizzlies were kind of flirting with a comeback. That was huge. That gave the Knicks separation in the first half, which stretched it to a 28-point game. And the Grizzlies, to their credit, did come back from 28 points. And this is the one critique I do have of the Knicks right now. Their defense could use some work. Now, I've noticed when I'm watching the game, they're playing at such a fast pace that it is really hard to dig in defensively in the way that the Knicks are used to watching or are used to digging in defensively, right? We're used to a slower pace game, a more grinded out, tough game, and the Knicks still have that in them. OG Anunoby has been fantastic defensively. Mikal Bridges has been good, and there have been moments from this team where they dig in defensively, but for the most part, I wouldn't say that they're lazy, but it feels like there's no intensity on the defensive end, and they went up 28. They seemed to relax a bit. Kind of seemed like they thought they had the game in the bag, which they did, and the Grizzlies were able to come back. They could have cut the lead to like 7 or 6 on numerous occasions in the fourth quarter, missed open threes. Knicks dodged a few bullets. They ended up winning by 13. But just if I'm going to nitpick something, one area of concern there is just kind of like I wish the Knicks could, tighten up defensively a little bit, and then when, you're up 15 at the end of the fourth quarter, let's not jack up threes with 18, 16 seconds on the shot clock. We could run some offense. We can get a better shot. We can get a layup. If the open three's there, that's fine, but we don't have to be taking above the rim three-pointers up 13 with 2.5 minutes left. The Knicks did get sloppy at the end, but listen, a W is a W. That is now 5 in a row for the New York Knicks, all at home. They are undefeated at home. This is a streak in which I think they were expected to go on. These are all against teams that they should be beating. If we're going to be honest here, the competition isn't that great. These aren't teams that are world beaters. We're not playing the Cavs or the Lakers or the Thunder during the stretch. These are get-right games. These are games that I expected the Knicks to win if they were going to be serious contenders. And not only are they winning, they are absolutely destroying teams. Beat the Grizzlies last night. Before that, beat the brakes off of the Nets. We didn't cover that game, but that was just another game that was a wire-to-wire finish with 2 teams that were just on different stratospheres, and the Knicks showed it. So right now, Knicks are doing what they're supposed to do. They got the Magic tonight. We can talk about that now. The Orlando Magic coming off of a buzzer-beater win against the Portland Trailblazers where Desmond Bane hit a 3. He has not completely fit in with the Magic right now. He's having some trouble there. There's been games where he's been practically invisible. The Magic are still trying to find themselves, but they are coming off of a win in which they snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Maybe they have some momentum going into this game. And also for the Knicks, it's a back-to-back. And back-to-backs, listen, I don't blame anybody for losing back-to-backs in the NBA. These are difficult games, especially last night where the Knicks seemed to play more minutes than they wanted to play, the starters, Josh Hart as well. So they might be some tired legs going into this game. Who knows? I don't know. But I do think, I wouldn't say it's a trap game because I feel like trap is reserved for teams that aren't that good, right? Like against the Wizards, it's a trap game. Against the Hornets, it's a trap game. I know the Magic are 5-6. But I have a little more respect for the Orlando Magic right now. I don't think they're going to be a 500 team for the rest of the way. I do think they're going to find themselves and eventually be a playoff team. So for me, I don't consider this a trap game. This is more of a danger game, right? It's second under the back-to-back. Granted, they're home. You just came off of a victory in which you were sprinting up and down the court, maybe tired, legs might be tired, and a Magic team that they're not hot. They've been alternating wins and losses, but they are coming off of a victory that might propel them to a little win streak here, that might give them a little confidence. So this is the game where I think it's going to be competitive. We're going to see some competitive basketball at the Garden for the first time in a couple games. And honestly, I think the Knicks need it. I think the Knicks need a test. So let's see if they can pass that test tonight. All right, listen, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back after the Magic Knicks game tonight. We will recap that as well. We want to get your opinions, so drop a comment in the comment section. I like taking your comments. I like using them for content on days where the Knicks aren't playing. So make sure you drop a comment, leave a question. Give me a hot take, anything you want. We're trying to build a community here of New York Knicks fans. This is the most anticipated season since the Ewing days. Really, this is a year in which the Knicks can, and in my opinion, should go to the NBA Finals. I'm sure you feel the same way. So make sure you like the video, drop a comment, subscribe. See you after Knicks Magic. Peace.